Hi, do you remember Tony the Tiger? What was that phrase that he would always say? Great! You know, it was Tony the Tiger for Frosted Flakes. And I've discovered some Frosted Flakes in the Bible. Hi, I'm Jeff Miller, pastor at the Belton First United Methodist Church in Belton, Texas. Thanks for viewing these devotionals that we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I've discovered some wonderful Frosted Flakes in the Bible. There are three greats in the Bible. There's the great requirement in Micah 6:8. Or what does the Lord require of you? To do justice, love mercy, walk humbly with God. And then there's the great commandment that Jesus gives. Love God with all our heart, with all our soul, with all our mind, with all our strength, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. And then we have what we call the Great Commission. The Great Commission that Jesus gives to his disciples before he ascends to heaven. It is where Jesus tells them, here's what you're going to be doing now for the rest of your life. And commissioning them and giving them this mission. And it's in Matthew 28, verses 18 through 20. I have been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore, go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you. And be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Over these next couple of weeks, I want to talk about these three greats in the Bible, or these Frosted Flakes in the Bible. But I'm going to start with the last one, because there's another saying that the last shall be first. So I want to start with the last, and I want to start with the very last words, where Jesus says, I am with you always, each and every day, till the end of time. Lieutenant Colonel Hal Moore took his place on the parade field to address his troops as they were getting ready to deploy and go into battle. And one of the things he said, and it comes from that wonderful movie, We Were Soldiers, starring Mel Gibson, who portrays Lieutenant Colonel Hal Moore, and Sam Elliott, also starring in that movie, and several others. But he says this, I will be the first one to step on the battlefield, and I will be the last one to step off. And I think that's what Jesus is saying to us as we engage in the mission, that Jesus was the first one to step on. He's going to be the last one to step off, and he's going to be with us all the way. And I thought that was Hal Moore's speech was a great illustration of Jesus' words. So I used it one time in speaking at a special service and using the Great Commission for the sermon. And I used that scene from We Were Soldiers. And afterwards, were people coming up, were greeting, there was a gentleman that approached me, a very tall gentleman walking with a cane. And he came up to me and he had a tear in his eye. And he said, I was on that parade field when Lieutenant Colonel Hal Moore made that speech. Wow. And I realized, it is one thing. It's one thing to talk about these words of Jesus, that I am with you always, each and every day, and to share those words and to read those words and hear those words. But it's another thing to experience those words. I talk about those Lieutenant Colonel Hal Moore's speech, but that man experienced that speech. And I could see the impact and the difference that he made. As we engage in fulfilling the mission of making disciples, as we live out the Great Commandment, and we do the work of the Great Requirement, we experience these words of Jesus. We just don't hear them, but we experience them, that I am with you each and every day to the end of time. As we engage in this great work that God has called us to, we have these great words of Jesus. I am with with you each and every day to the end of time. God bless you. Go in peace.